All right, welcome back to the Built to Grow podcast. I'm your host, Tim Lyons, joined today by Randy Angston. What's up, buddy?
Hello, my friend.
Yes. Good stuff.
It's a good day.
Yes. I just got to get over this scuzz I'm fighting, and everything will be good. Kind of forgot what I felt to be like 100%. I've been running like 60, 70% for like a week, maybe a week. So whatever. Anyways, guys, funny episode today. We're going to talk about something. Somehow, some way I got added to the CrossFit affiliates group. I think somebody tagged me and invited me or something. I don't remember. Anyways, I've been in there for, I don't know, at least a year and a half. And there was a post, and the question that was asked was, hey, what do you guys do to pay your trainers for personal training? We do a 60-40 split, kind of just checking to see what everybody else is doing. And there was 30-something comments. I started digging into them, and I'm like reading them, and I think I think I'm 70-30 to the coach. And even there were several like, I don't take any money from the coach. That's their business. And we, as long as they're serving the clients and taking care of them, we're gonna, we don't take any money from the coach.
I have to assume that those are independent contractors, but
well, what it is it's a CrossFit model where the coaches come in, and granted, if they're doing 1 class or 10 classes or whatever, they come in and the revenue that the CrossFit's doing is 100% generated from the classes. And maybe a client or two needs a little extra work, and that coach works with them separately on their own time, and they just collect directly from the client. I was mind blown.
You did.
I am mind blown. How little business acumen must you have to think that this is a good idea on any level? But the argument from the CrossFit box owners was, that's their time and they're helping our clients. And, I don't think we deserve to take any money, or, 70-30's fair. And I was like, get out of here. Like, what are you talking about? So let's talk about that.
Yeah.
Let's talk about.
Are those the first thought that comes to mind too is, are those owners previous trainers themselves?
Yes. That was a lot of it. Correct.
You know what I mean? Like they were, I've been in that seat and that's how I made my money and all of that stuff. Well, yeah, but that changed the second you put your name on the building and you signed a personal guarantee. Yep. And you paid to market for those clients to get them into the gym. And
there's a million reasons why you went into it. But yes, that was a very overwhelming argument. It's like, that's how I started. And I remember what it was like. And, I want to take care of these coaches. Great.
That's a journey of the broke, by the way.
Okay. So if you're doing this on any level, you're doing it wrong. Like I will put my flag in the ground. That's the stupidest thing you could do. Why? Well, what do you mean, Tim? Why is that stupid to do this? Well, let's just talk about the risk at this point. Let's talk about what it takes to run an operation. Wouldn't it be nice if you could go in and make money out of somebody else's rent, like out of somebody else's building, take 100% of that money, disappear tomorrow, have no liability, and, get free clientele and just make as much as you want? Wouldn't that be nice? Well, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
That's what those coaches are doing.
Yeah.
They're using your space with your insurance, your equipment, your clients, your utilities, and they're taking 80, 70, 60, 50% of that revenue. And you've got some of them 100% of the revenue, and you've got nothing to show for. Like, I can't understand the business side of that argument.
And that's what you nailed it right there. There is no understanding. Like if you're talking logic versus emotion, that is 100% an emotional decision. Yeah. Mm-hmm. There is no logical way to dollar and cents that to make sense. You know what I mean? Sense. Like it doesn't. It does. It blows my mind.
Yep. So let's start with these CrossFit, again, CrossFit guys are making their money from the classes, and they're thinking that maybe this is icing. Well, maybe it's icing, but you still need to control the deliverable.
Yeah, absolutely.
You need to control the revenue. As a facility. If you're letting these coaches do whatever they want with your clients, now remember, those clients came in because you had that sign on the door. They drove by, referral came in, you did Facebook ads, they Googled you, your website cost money, all those things you did generated that client. And they're in your four walls. And if you're letting this coach or multiple coaches train these folks however they want, collect the money directly, boy, what is the benefit to you as the owner? Like, let's look at the pros and cons. Like, what is the pro there?
Why are you as the owner?
Give me one pro.
I don't know. The only thing that I can come up with is like not having to come up with the programming themselves. Like, is that a benefit? Is that a pro? Like, as an owner,
almost a negative. It's a negative.
In our opinion, it would be, right, because as a brand, the name on the side of the building, you're renting space to anybody who wants it. You're not, and not even at that. You're literally giving it away.
Yeah, giving it away. So I brought this up to a couple of the Iron Circle members, and you know, like Matt Weaver's chimed in really quick. He's like, "Yeah, I did that 15 years ago," and he said it's a, you know, and we both agree it's a young gym owner's mistake.
Correct.
This is a gym owner that maybe was a coach before, but they don't want to be on the hook or burdened with a salary to pay the coach. Therefore, they're just going to do a split. So when money comes in, they split it up, and there's no real hard expense until there's an actual revenue coming in. So they're not liable for paying a salary to a coach in this situation.
Sure.
But even then, it still doesn't make sense.
Well, and at the end of the day, like, as a business owner, this is a perfect case in point for I'm doing this because that's the way I saw it done before. Like, they haven't looked elsewhere. They have never left that community of talking, nodding heads, you know, in the CrossFit community that goes, oh yeah, that's what I do. Like, to your point,
there was one person that went against the grain in that thread. One, Justin Emmons. He's our coaching client.
He's one of our clients. Yeah.
He goes, I pay my coaches a salary. We don't do splits. Mm-hmm. And nobody could comprehend how that would even work. I just don't. It just reminded me how far our worlds are apart. Like, CrossFit, I guess the brain trust that goes with the CrossFit community is almost a opposite of what we think and what we coach to. And that may be a reason why we're doing 7 figures and they struggle to do 500,000 maybe.
Yeah.
300,000 maybe. I just don't know. I do know. It just doesn't make sense. Like, none of what was going on in there made any sense to me. And there was one other guy that's like, maybe I'm going against the grain here, but like, I would have never do splits because of X, Y, and Z. And he was also a veteran owner too. So like, he'd been around, maybe he did the splits way back.
Sure.
I've never done splits. We've always done a salary or an hourly rate. We collect the money from the clients directly for the services rendered, and we pay coaches a salary or an hourly for services rendered. That's a business.
That's that business, and that's a big gap. I mean, or the big differentiator. And the reason that we coach to systems of a business, right? I have to believe that those guys, when they go for continued education, they're doing the same things. They're looking for another certification. They're trying to figure out, you know, the movement patterns and like, how can we grow our CrossFit feel? Not trying to grow a business, there's little understanding on the P&L. Obviously, like the expense aspect of it, they just don't understand. They don't know where the money's coming from. They don't know where it's going, and they're not running a business. Not to its potential. To
your point, like, there was a lot of arguments about almost anti-business in that group. Like, we're here to help the community, and we're here to, you know, create a movement and all these things. But at the end of the day, you got to pay your bills, your lifestyle, your family. Like, so
you're not running a charity.
Why would you take all the risk of running a business and being an entrepreneur if you're not in it to make a profit? Right? Like, it's just mind-boggling at some level.
Yeah. I would wonder how many, and I guarantee there's almost a 1-to-1 on how many of those owners also have full-time jobs outside of their gym to support themselves.
Good question.
You know what I mean? Because if the business isn't making money and this is your operation, you have to pay yourself somewhere.
Yeah.
You know, you're not doing it from the class revenue, from the CrossFit facilities at what, $129 a month, for some of these memberships, or
as low as that, maybe on the low end. But yeah, so the question becomes, how should you pay your coaches? Like, why talk about how something doesn't work if we don't give you what we think you should do, right? Like, I mean, obviously you're here to like, okay, well, what should we do, Tim? Well, what we do and what almost every single one of our coaching clients, Iron Circle, 100% of the Iron Circle does, is you got coaches that are either full or part-time. They clock in, they clock out, they get a pay for that set hour. It could be a set deliverable. Maybe they're getting paid X for this service and that for that service. There's never a per head. There's never a percentage of revenue. There's never, I guess those would be only two.
There's no split. Yeah.
So split, there's no trainer split, 70, 30, 60, 40, 50, 50, none of that's there. It's clock in, clock out. You get X amount per hour. And for us, we have two shifts. You're either a morning shift or afternoon shift. We really talk about block scheduling. We block them out. They don't have to come back in the afternoon. There's no split shifts. That's another thing we don't do. And they come in at 5 and they clock out at noon. That's morning shift. And then we have the 1 to 8 o'clock, 1 to 7. Last session's at 7. So like those are the two shifts, and you get paid a set rate. You're on the schedule for same hours every day, every week. And it's essentially a salary if you think about it, because we get paid time off, holiday pay, all that stuff's in there, insurance. And we try to build a career for these coaches. Yeah. We give them bonuses based on criteria that we performance bonuses reviews, are five things that we look at, and everything's on the table. That's it.
You know what a lot of this leads back to is control. You guys, you've controlled the environment. You're controlling, the expense to a degree. With where the revenue is at, what percentage of payroll can be paid out. But I was thinking about that. Even controlling the schedule. I mean, if these independent or if these trainers are not even independent necessarily, but if these trainers are just taking clients, their lifestyle probably suffers massively. They're probably still doing those split shifts where you're coming in the morning, you train a couple of clients, and then there's nobody that's available midday, so I'm going home doing something else, and then the evening I got 2 clients, or Friday night I've got that one person that wants to train at 7 p.m. on a Friday, so I'm stuck at the gym at 7 p.m. on a Friday when. Like even in your situation, I know that you guys rotate from time to time, morning and evenings, the staff, but it's kind of like it's a group, decision. It's not just, you're somebody stuck working the shift nobody wants all of the time, right? Your Saturdays rotate, things like that. But it's not even, I think it's less control as much as it is, what's that word I'm looking for? Where intentionality. You know what I mean? Like we know that this is when people are going to be in our gym. This is what we have to play with. Let's put the pieces where they need to be.
Yeah, it's pretty simple.
But let's take care of the business as a whole, because if the business can't operate, the opportunity for everybody to make money goes away.
So right, and so going back to the trainer split thing, I'm thinking right now there's people listening that are trainers.
Absolutely.
And they're like, you got it all wrong, right? Well, maybe from your side of the fence.
Absolutely.
But guess what? We call the shots because we take the risk. And so if you're a trainer, I'm sorry to break this to you, the business should support the owner, not the trainer.
Correct.
Now, granted, you don't want to stiff your coaches. But at the end of the day, where there's risk, there is reward. If a trainer can disappear tomorrow with no repercussions, financially or otherwise, you have no risk. If a gym owner closes up shop, the rent that isn't paid for the upcoming 2-3 years left on the lease, that they're coming after you. The equipment that's maybe not paid off, they're coming after you. Any of the debts in the business, they're coming after you. The coach can disappear, right? And so be it, right? That's just the way it is. So trainers, I'm sorry, if you want the reward, you must take the risk, and that is open your own gym, which is absolutely something you should do if you're at that point. But gym owners, stop bending and breaking to serve the coaches that are in your facilities that are running your operation. They have you held hostage, and trust me, I know how it feels because I've been there.
Sure.
You're like, oh my gosh, if we lose this coach, our business will suffer. They're not divas.
No.
The way we've built this operation today in our environment is we can switch a coach out, no problem. We can bring in a young coach, an older coach. We've got our systems and operations dialed in. A coach will not hold us hostage here.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you're not happy here, take off. I mean, trust me, I went out and gave dabs to the coaches on the training floor. Everybody's happy. Like this is, don't get me wrong, I'm not a slave driver.
Hell no.
But the point is we've got an insurance policy around our operations. We're not, indebted to the coaches. The coaches just run our play.
Exactly.
The coaches run our play. It's our play. It's our programming. It's our clients. It's our equipment. It's our space. It's our model.
Think about and take that to any other business. Any other business, right? You walk into a retail store. It's not the employees deciding how the hell they're going to go sell candles and T-shirts, or how, you know what I mean? Like the business sets the foundation. The employees are the wheels of the cogs in the operation that support the mission of the business as a whole.
I mean, we really think about it. There is what other business could there be? Think about a restaurant, Starbucks, movie theater, a chiropractor. You got massage therapists. Great. They do their massage, but like maybe one's better than the other. Okay, you just get another massage therapist. Now, I will tell you this. There isn't another business that your clients see you multiple times a week. Like this is a very interesting and unique, like you're not going to maybe you're going to a restaurant multiple times a week, but not for a year straight. Yeah. Maybe you're going to a bar, but not for a year straight, right? The gym and the fitness industry is a totally different monster where you're seeing your clients 2, 3, 4, 5 times a week, every week for months on end, if not years on end.
Let's compare it to a Starbucks or a coffee joint, because maybe that's one where, your daily routine is stop and get your cup of coffee.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that live that life.
Not one damn employee of a Starbucks is changing the ingredients in that drink because they think they have a better way.
And trust me, none of the customers are paying that barista direct.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh, I'm going to give Jim I'm going to pay him aside from Starbucks because he makes my coffee the way I like. No, he makes the coffee the way Starbucks taught him to make the coffee. If those edits, the business is still getting paid.
Business getting paid. The person, guess what? If Joe's not there tomorrow, guess what?
Somebody else is going to fill that seat. Exactly.
It's just weird. Well, give me another business, man. Your clients see you multiple times a week, and that the employees run the show. Like the business doesn't have any, like the business owner's held hostage on some levels. There's some of you listening right now. You're held hostage by your coaches.
You know it. You feel it.
They do whatever they want. If they don't want to come in, you have to deal with it.
Well, how many of them walk into your gym as a trainer, they train their client, and they walk right out, and there's no other responsibilities? There's no other, do you have a job description for that position? Does it say training only, and then, you're done?
Disappear.
There's not bartenders don't get that luxury to go. Well, they don't walk in, pour drinks, and then walk out and be like, all right, cool, cleaning up's after, that's on somebody else's plate. No, you got pre-shift, you got post-shift, the rolling of the silverware. We've all seen people doing it. That's the responsibilities of the position that go beyond just the one deliverable component.
It's mind-boggling.
Boggling.
Mind-boggling. Good gosh. I would, listen, guys, if you're on the other side of the fence, I would love to hear your argument. I'm not here to say I'm willing to listen. I just can't think of a reason you would do a trainer split. You would let your coaches take the money direct in your operation, train the way they want to train, and disappear and come and go as they please. I just don't. Give me the argument, and I'll listen. Maybe I'm not thinking of something. And if you're right, hell, I'll be like, yeah, I didn't think about that, and that's a pretty good reason to do it that way. But I can't think of one.
No, I mean, and then on top of it, I want to see the numbers. I want to see how logically it can play out, and the business can make money, the owner can make money, the staff makes money, and everybody wins. If that's the case, teach us something we can't figure out ourselves. I mean, it reminds me of a lot of the transition that we've taken a lot of gym owners through over the years. I mean, Jeff Larish was a perfect example. I mean, he had 17, I think it was independent, 13 independent, trainers coming and going. And the problem that he had was he couldn't manage and run the business the way that the business needed to be run because everyone had their own hand in it.
Yep.
And to that point, he was almost a slave to, his business.
And that was a CrossFit at the time. Now he's dumped that whole problem. But there's a lot of CrossFits that the coaches come in and train like 2 or 3 classes and they get a free membership. That's part of the deal. I don't.
Is that what's going to get you?
It's a barter system or something.
Yeah, which I mean, maybe at some level.
Instead of pay, though.
Exactly. There you go. Instead of pay,
they just get a membership instead of pay. So you're gonna, as a coach, you're gonna coach 3 hours a week or 1 hour a week for $199 a month. Maybe that's $25. No, I guess $50 an hour. Maybe, but like you'd have to have how many damn free memberships? But 50 of them.
To your point, these guys don't need a full-time job outside of here.
No, they're all full-time here.
Exactly. So that person has to have some other source of income to pay their their expenses. So it's like having a bunch of children come in and run your business and like I think you're just getting by.
And I'm bashing the hell out of CrossFit because there's so many issues with it. Yeah, they have a great movement and all that stuff. Like I'll give CrossFit that. But somewhere along the line, they found the cheapest location in the back of an industrial warehouse and thought that was a good idea. They thought doing trainer splits was a good idea. That's the whole topic of this episode. They thought having 2 CrossFits across the street from each other was a good idea. They thought that doing barters with coaches is a good idea, where there's a fireman during the day and they come in and coach 2 sessions a week or something and then trade that. They thought that was a good idea. Like all of the things that they just has opposite of the way I feel.
I guarantee there's not a business, like any school of business in the U.S., not one of them is teaching any of those are a good idea.
I don't know. Anyway, sorry guys, I hate to rain on CrossFit, but they've done a lot of good in this industry, but like there's the business side is absolutely horrible.
That's what this is. That's what this is about. We might be passionate about this not being the way. It's because we've seen the other side. If you're in that position, guys, we're not bashing you and saying you're screwed. What we're saying is you've got opportunity to not feel the way you feel right now, not be handcuffed by your trainers, to be able to step into a position where you're controlling the deliverables of your business, the way those workouts are being done, you're benefiting regardless of, from the top and it rolls downhill, as opposed to hoping that there's something in it for you as the business owner. That's the reason that we're having this conversation. It's not that, hey, here's the problem. We're presenting a solution. And that's what it comes down to. But you have to do something different if you want a different result, period. And there is a better way.
There's a better way. So hopefully that gets your wheels turning. Another great episode today. So that's it for this episode. Until next time, guys, keep changing lives. We'll see you on the next show. Bye.
All right, and thank you for listening to that episode of the Built to Grow podcast, where we help gym owners win. Now, do you want to connect with me and other gym owners online? All you need to do is join our private Facebook group, Business Talk with Fitness Professionals. Just head on over to Facebook and type in Business Talk with Fitness Professionals, and when you do, we're going to give you our 10 marketing strategies 7-figure gym owners use to win. I look forward to seeing you in the next episode. Until then, keep building something great.